One of the great things about working with people, whether they're colleagues or stakeholders or clients, is getting to know their differences in work style, communication preference, and the sort of things that interest them. It can be challenging, but I find it fun. I think that diversity and the energy it creates when you're working with a bunch of different people is an exciting challenge. And can I be honest, it's a necessary one. No matter what work you do, communicating with others is a key part of your role. Now, you think about it, you could be sitting in a room by yourself, working at home, writing lines of code, but at some point you're going to have to interact with someone else to progress that work, whether it's selling it to a client or working with a peer or a leader or a project team. And even if that communication happens in a written sense, there is still nuance that we need to put into it to be successful. Now, here's the thing. Everyone has a different preference for the way they communicate. Your preference will be different to mine. But if I want to communicate with you, it's smart for me to meet you where you are. If I communicate with you in a way that is easy for you to engage with, well, I'm more likely to get the outcome I want. I'm more likely to be able to influence you or have you understand what it is I've done or make my point really well. So let's talk about the way we can flex our communication to deal with different personality types that we see in our work life and our personal life. Now, for the sake of simplification, I'm going to focus on some very simple communication and work preferences that people tend to display. You would be aware some people are a little bit more extroverted and some people are a little bit more introverted. An extrovert tends to be a bit louder, talk more, be more verbose. They like and get energy from hanging out with big groups of people, where an introvert is a little bit more contained. They tend to be quieter. They will use less words to explain things, and they get energy from being by themselves. The other continuum that I'd like to explore when we think about people's personality type are those who are a little bit more task focused and those who are a little bit more people focused. People who are task focused tend to love to get the job done, tick off lists, achieve goals, meet deadlines. People who are a little bit more people focused enjoy thinking about the feelings of others, interacting with people, care very much about the team dynamic and how what they say impacts the experience of others. Now, when I think about extroversion, introversion, and I think about task and people focus, there is a splendid variety in the way we all exhibit these things, and they're all very situational. But you will know people you work with who are a little bit more extroverted or a little bit more introverted, a little bit more task focused or a little bit more people focused. And where communication challenges happen is where we're not like them. So for example, I'm quite extroverted. When I deal with introverted people, I need to modify my communication style so they can have the best communication outcome, because if they have the best communication outcome, I will get the best communication result. They're more likely to listen to me and act on what I do. And by the way, some of my very best friends are introverts. So it doesn't mean you can't get along well with these people, but what you need to do is be flexible. You need to meet them where they are, as I said before. So let's talk about someone who is very task focused and also very extroverted. Well, with people like that, we need to be very clear, we need to be concise, and we don't want to give too much unnecessary detail. They love efficiency, these people. So we focus on results and outcomes, and we tend not to waste their time with too much small talk and social chit chat when we're in a work context. Also, we love to show confidence when we're dealing with someone who's task focused and extroverted. We present ourselves in an assertive manner, and we demonstrate that when we're talking, we have control of the situation. But also, we need to respect their need to occasionally take the lead in communication. They will want to be upfront and independent. Now, let's talk about someone who is a little bit more on the people side of things, but are also still quite extroverted. People like that are enthusiastic, so you need to be enthusiastic as well when you talk to them. Match their energy. They will want to see that. They will also want to engage in conversation. They're quite social people, and they want to share their ideas and opinions, and will also want to hear yours when you're communicating with them. Anecdotes, examples, and stories to back up your points are very much valued by people who are, extroverted, but also very people focused as well. And don't forget to build rapport. These people value rapport and their relationships that they have. All right, let's talk about someone who's a little bit more people focused, but also a little bit more on the introverted side as well. And with people like that, we need to give them time, give them space. Don't bombard them with words. Have some silence. balance so that they can express what they want to say in their own time. Don't rush them through. Don't yep as they're talking. Let them own the space while they think about what they want to say. Be empathetic. These are people who do care about their teammate and how they experience the workplace or the work environment. So be empathetic and listen to what they have to say. Be sincere. Genuinely care for their feelings as well. And relationships are very important to people who are that people focused but also quite introverted. So allow them to explore relationships and don't devalue the relationships they have when you're talking with them and communicating. And now let's focus on the people who are quite task focused but also quite introverted. People like that like thoroughness. They like well-researched information. They like you to come to them with data, facts, and proof points. They like logic and they like to discuss in a logical way. So be logical when you talk to them. They will also like to ask questions so they understand things really well. So be prepared to answer those questions in a calm and dispassionate way. And please respect these people's need to be accurate and right. Yes, we all have our own communication style and preference, but if we can also respect the preferences of others and meet them where they are, you will find yourself being a far more effective communicator and getting great outcomes.